Alright, hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about what is Dominion. A lot of people, it's not a very popular game mode right now. It's not played very often. So we're just going to kind of go over what it is. First of all, you got to know it's fast, it's fun, and it's effective, and you're going to love it. So, just to start off, like in Summoner's Rift in 5v5, there's two Nexuses. So instead, in this, there's two Nexuses, but you can't actually do damage to them. Or not in the sense of like physical damage from a champion. You'll see at the top of the screen here, there's 500 and 500. That's the health of the Nexus. But the only way you can actually damage the Nexus is by capping these 5 points around the map. So there's 2 points in the bottom, there's 2 points in what's called the mid, and then there's 1 point at the top. And these all have names. It's the windmill, it's I think the refinery, the drill, the graveyard or the boneyard, and okay, I don't actually know the name of all of them, and whatever this is. Anyways, not very important. So what's going to go on is, there's this obvious like buy timer. You start off with a little bit more gold, and you start off with 3 points, so you can get each one of your skills to start off with. So we're just going to go off, we're going to buy some items, and we'll get started here. Cool. So, so there's 5 people per team normally. I'm just in a custom game just to explain this. And so what you need to know, other than these 5 points, there's some movement speed shrines around the map. And these just, they give you a small little movement speed buff to get you around the map a little bit quicker. Also, a little bit later in the game, there's going to be 2 shrines that are going to pop up here. And you have to click on them and channel them for a little bit, and they give you a little bit more health. They give you this almost a static shiv effect, where when you attack someone, this like lightning bolt will go out and hit them. And it gives you a little bit of shield. So we'll walk down there. There's some advantages and disadvantages to getting these shrines. You kind of have to go far away from the capture points to get up here. So it's kind of, you have to give up some pressure on these in order to get them. But the advantage is that you do have the combat effectiveness. So you saw that I clicked on the point, and now it's owned by my team. Now you see I'm playing against a friend, and he clicked on the point. Now he owns this. Now I can go over and I can try and compete for it. But when there's 2 points next to each other that are on opposing teams, that that capture point will spawn minions, and these minions will go and they'll try and cap the other point. And so there's a big part in this that's like pushing the minions, kind of like in 5v5 where you're trying to push a tower, but in here you're trying to push to the capture point. So if I run over here actually, and I try and cap this, right? What you'll see is that it'll first go all the way down, and then when it gets all the way across, I don't own it at that point, but it goes neutral. So at this point, nobody owns it. But, and like towers, it has this this vision thing. And so if I attack somebody, he stops capping it. So if I continue to, and I cap in, and so yeah. Well, one of the things you can do is that if I start capping, and he starts capping at the same time, he'll cancel my cap. So there's a big point in the game where, let's say I have 2 champions down here. You want to have one champion capturing the point, while the other person zones off any enemies that are going to try and stop you to do that. So you'll see right now, up the top here, I own 1 point, so I have this green circle, and there's 4 neutral points. And the red team doesn't own any. So you'll see that as I own more, his Nexus is quickly ticking down health, but mine isn't losing any health at all. So it's to go completely even, the team would own usually this point and this point, and this point would be neutral, and then like the only thing that would subtract Nexus health would be kills on the enemy. So like if I kill Lee Sin, you'll see, the Nexus health got subtracted by 30 there. We got some points of that. And you get extra points for different things. and you can see on the point, the point will actually shoot him if I own it. So yeah, so basically what you want to do is the whole real goal is to get to the point where you have three, you know, kind of the strategy is to own 3 different nodes. If you're owning 3 nodes, you're not kind of destroying the Nexus the fastest way, but you know you're still winning, and you know it's kind of it's easier to defend 3 than defend 4 or 5, obviously. So let's talk about the meta a little bit. Usually when these games start, so there's 5 champions. And those 5 champions, 3 will head straight to this top point. Now you'll see that the top point's exactly in the middle of the 2 bases, where the other 2 are kind of equally spaced, but they're close to the bases. So usually people will fight over this top point the most. So 3 people will usually head top, and then 1 person will cap mid, and then they'll head top, and then there'll usually be a 1v1 down bot. So let's talk about what sort of champions are strong. Obviously, people with move speed who can run from point to point faster are very strong. So, you know, Rammus is very strong in this. Evelynn is very strong in this. People with gap closers like Shaco are very strong. But really up top, you kind of want like a nice 4v4 team fight team. So support can be really strong. Tanks can be really strong. You know, different burst assassins and mages and stuff like that. Usually the things that aren't as strong are like AD carries, or especially immobile AD carries. If you get a very strong AD carry, an AD carry that has strong mobility, let's say a Tristana, let's say a Lucian, even possibly a Jinx, they can be very strong. But, you know, when you're looking at, I don't know, someone like Ashe who has no escapes, or, you know, they just kind of sit there and do damage, it's just not as effective. There's too many ways for someone to kind of come at you in any sort of team fight. So let's see, what else? At the top, yeah, so you want that kind of that team fight, right? Now down bot, it's very, very much like top lane. You want people who can 1v1, who are strong, you know, in a 1v1. You also want people who are strong at pushing the wave, because, you know, if you can push the wave to the tower, the minions actually start capping it when they get there. So if you have a big enough wave that hits this, you know, unless you have good wave clear, it will just cap that tower for you, so it's very easy to get it. And obviously, you know, if you can beat your person down here, even if they're having trouble getting top, you'll own this point, because it's very hard for the other team to contest it early on. You'll earn this, you'll own that point, and then, you know, if you can also get this point, it's very, very strong. So yeah, and then there's a couple different strategies. You know, there's obviously the strategy that, you know, you just want to have, you know, strong enough, like the strongest champions to kind of own those 3 points. There's also a strategy where, you know, you have somebody like an Evelynn or a Shaco who's going to jump around the map and jump to points that aren't defended. You know, usually this bot tower is pretty well defended on the 1v1, and this top tower is very highly contested. But these middle ones usually aren't contested that much. You know, you know, this one's right in the middle, so you really want to contest it. This one's really safe, so you don't really need to contest it that much. You know, someone can easily go back to base and then run there pretty quickly. So, you know, champion, there's definitely a strategy where people just keep, you know, harassing by going here and trying to cap it. And as long as they have these 2, and then they're keeping that one neutral, if they can just get a couple neutral ones, they'll just slowly chip away at your Nexus. So let's see, what else? You know, in this this series, I'm going to be going over some of what I think to be some of the strongest Dominion champions. This is a game mode that I really, really enjoy. I've been playing since it came out, and I don't think you know, people really give it the respect it deserves. It's, you know, just as fun as an ARAM, and it can be even more competitive. There are some tournaments around there, out there where you can get a 5v5 team and actually compete. And you know, there's no ranked mode yet, but they kind of make their own, you know, tournament and tier list for it. And so the first champion you'll see in the next video is I'm going to be going over is my my Fiddle bot strat. You know, usually people don't think of Fiddle as kind of a top lane hero or someone who's strong in the 1v1, but what he does bring to Dominion, his entire kit works really, really well for it. Because there's a lot of walls that he can jump over, because his abilities are actually really good to clear out minion waves. They're actually really helpful. So yeah, that's kind of what Dominion is. And oh yeah, one of the things I want to talk about is that around the map you'll see these on the mini map you'll see these pluses, and they're just like an ARAM. You know, you get the little health pack, and there's a lot of play around. You know, when you're going in lane, and you know pushing it enough so you can grab that health pack safely and then get back, and putting pressure on your lane opponent that way. Anyways, thanks guys, and yeah, go join Dominion, try it out, it's pretty fun.